Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show, and welcome to another edition of Relationship Advice, where I will be overall reading some relationship stories off of the Relationship Advice subreddits. You guys can go check it out on reddit.com right now, reddit.com/r/relationship_advice. So, go check it out. Might see some stories yourself. You can even submit some of your stories, and yeah, I guess if you are going through some relationship problems, then go check out. I feel like it's a community that's they're not as, I guess, like, how could I put it, they're not so colorful with their responses to whatever it is that you got going on. I feel that some of the responses that I've seen to some of the relationship advice, maybe my response might be a little bit colorful, meaning that I'm gonna say how I really feel. And if it upsets you, I'm sorry in advance, I guess. So no, man, because I feel like that at times stuff needs to be said. I feel like you can't really beat around the bush on some stuff. Like, no, you need to say how you feel and say it with your chest. So anyways, let's go ahead and start off with this first one. This one seems like it's kind of crazy because I'm like, I ain't never heard of some stuff like that before. But anyways, I and my boyfriend may break up over a failed exam. I don't know if failed exam means something else, but like if you're going through school and you fail an exam, and then I don't know if it's a situation where the girl might be, she's upset or the boyfriend's upset. Regardless, if I'm in a relationship and I'm going through school and I fail an exam and then my girlfriends are like, no, I'm sorry, but I can't be with the failure. This relationship might end. I would be like, hey, I instead of like, you know how like when there's things that'll pop up, like let's say if you're deleting something for an example and it pops up saying, are you sure you want to? I'm not, she might bring it up, but I'm going to be the one that presses, yes, I want to delete this. So yeah, if that is ever a conversation, I'm like, nah, I'm like, you ain't got to threaten me with the breakup. I'll go through with it because that's just crazy. So, but anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and read this. So, she starts it off by saying, I asked my boyfriend to watch a puppy. I was boarding while I was boarding. Wait, what? Watch a puppy, I was boarding. What does that mean? Watching? I don't know. But anyways, while I took an important online Protert exam. Before the exam started, I stressed to him that I needed a quiet, uninterrupted space for 2 hours. Halfway through the exam, I noticed that the puppy was suddenly outside, nipping at my ankles. She kept distracting me, so I was forced to take her back to my boyfriend's room and said, baby, this is a really important exam. Please watch her just for 2 hours. He was almost falling asleep, then shot up and said, dude, I can't effing take it anymore. I am tired and annoyed. I didn't know what to do, so I just took the puppy back with me. She would have screamed and scratched if I put her in a separate room. But at this point, I'm crying because the puppy won't stop making noises, running around and being loud. The questions can be answered properly. It's accounting, so I need to focus during the proctored exam. The professor sent me a message saying, hey, you're moving around too much and you're not looking at the screen. You may not pass your exam. I ended up only getting a 53% because I couldn't focus. By this point, I'm livid. I walk up to his room, get down to his eye level and say, I just failed my exam. I needed this course to transfer to my dream college and I failed. I asked you to watch the puppy for 2 hours and you couldn't do that. Do you understand? Yeah, definitely. That's something where I feel like it shouldn't really be a discussion. I guess like in a situation where I'm kind of dealing with, if I am in that guy's shoes, yeah, I'm closing the door. All right, for one, closing the door. Gonna be playing around with the puppy or what. I guess like I don't know, it depends like I guess on the living situations. I'm over here thinking this like it could be like a 2-level house or something, but I mean if it's like a small apartment, I what could I possibly do for 2 hours? Because I'm like, go for a walk maybe, but I'm like, how would that even work? Yeah, it's something where I'm like, I definitely would have attempted to help, I guess, but I mean that's, yeah, I don't know. I guess like if he might not. That's the thing though. He might not even care if you trying to go through some college course or going doing exams and stuff. He might be that individual where he's all like, I don't want you doing this in the first place. So that's probably why he was being careless and stuff. Because that's something where I'm all like, I don't know. If I'm hanging out with my girlfriend, she asked me to watch a puppy. I'm like, okay, I don't think that should. I grew up, watching dogs and stuff, so I don't think that should be an issue and things. So yeah, that's kind of weird. But anyways, so yeah, and then she was like, God, do you understand? By this point, in a fit of rage, I crushed a soda can with my hand, throw it to the ground, and spray it on the floor. He's very upset and shouts, what the F is wrong with you? How is you failing an exam my fault? Because she told you to watch a dog. And it's like, bro, just watch the dog. That's something where it's like, if you don't like dogs, then say that, then it could have been passed off to somebody else that likes to watch dogs. But yeah, it's like that's something where it's he has to understand that if somebody asks you to do something, this could even be as far as a friend of mine's, all right, friend, family, whoever, right? But you ask me to do something, I do it the way I want to do it, which is a way that's not going to help that individual, and they got something important that they want to do. It's like, you have to understand how that, and it's like, that's like one of them like old-fashioned TV show moments where it's like that stuff happens, then she turns around and do something to him, and then he finally understand where she's coming from, and that's usually what it has to take. Instead of, because I had to say my advice to the girl, instead of getting mad, do this to him. Find something important, like let's say if he's playing the game, then I don't know, like fake that you're, it's your time of the month, and yeah, you just go in his room and just like go through a wild wave of emotions, start crying, start laughing, get upset, and then I'm trying to think what else. Be obnoxious when eating. Obnoxious, I don't know why I can't say that word right now, and I've said that word before. Obnoxious. We gonna go on past that word, all right? Because I know I can say that word. I just think that right now I'm a little tired, and that word ain't fully come into my brain and stuff. So obnoxious. I feel like that's how that word is said. Anyways, it's been a minute since I've said it. I feel like it hasn't been months, but it's definitely been a while, and I've said a lot of words since the last time I said that word. But no, yeah, do that stuff to him and see how he likes it. And it's like, just find something, like let's say if he's a gamer and he's playing a game in the middle of the night, then yeah, just go and just start doing some obnoxious stuff, and then yes, just see how he likes it, and I guarantee and I promise you he'll understand at that point. But anyways, then she goes on to say, I explained to him again how dire this was to my future. He sighs and lays back. We haven't talked since last night. I'm not sure what to do. I seriously am thinking of leaving him because this entire situation is completely out of left field and out of character for both of us. We've been dating 2.5 years and plan to spend our anniversary in Italy in September. For those asked, yes, he agreed to this arrangement a day before the exam again. A few hours later, we both bored animals together as a team. Any advice? Why does she say bored? I'm like, that just say watch. I'm like, I don't know what bored means. Bored just sounds something weird to do to an animal and stuff. But anyways, yeah, I think like, communication definitely is needed in a situation like this. Explain to him that, hey, like, you can't just push off on boarding a dog. Watching. I'm saying, now you got me saying boarding, all right? But anyways, no, it's like you can't push off watching a dog, and then it's like I'm trying to do something important for my career, and then you're just like, well, I don't care. No, it's like I feel like partially I can relate to her, because there have been times like if I'm doing content creating stuff and then people just push out like, oh, that don't matter, this matters more, and I'm like, no, what I got going on matters more. I'm like, that ain't gonna be no, you just walk over what I got going on and I'm supposed to be okay with that. No, it's like I think that's one of those things where it's like you definitely, hold on for a second, no doubt stand up for yourself, explain it to him again. If he doesn't not so much as agree, but if he isn't cool with how you feel, then it's probably best to end things, because this might be the future of you guys and your relationship. Because I'm saying I ain't trying to be married to an individual and then she's turning around doing some stuff. Like, because I'm sitting down trying to think if I'm in her shoes and I'm over here like doing some content creating stuff. I'm streaming or recording videos. I feel like, yeah, watching the dog. I mean, I don't know if I'm playing a game and I'm like, okay, I obviously don't want the dog to be doing nothing that's going to mess up my stream. So I guess like if I am concerned if it is that type of dog, then yeah, I definitely be all like, hey, can you watch the dog? She ain't watching it. Then it's all like, fam, watch the, and I'm like, I'm not trying to talk to you like a child, but at the same time it's like, fam, just watch the dog. I'm like, drink an energy drink. I'm like, I will literally go out and go get you an energy drink, but I'm gonna need you for you to watch this dog. So yeah, it's just something where I'm like, I personally wouldn't want to be in her shoes. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, nah, talk to him. If he ain't cool with what you saying, then yeah, then it's probably best to end the relationship and stuff. So, but next one, I'm thinking about calling off my wedding, which is 3 weeks from now, due to my fiance's comments about bringing my son to live with me. What? Comments about bringing my son to live with me. How is that? Obviously, if you guys get married, that's gonna be what? Okay, let's just read this because I'm a little bit confused. So, anyways, I lived in America up until I was 15. Then my mom sent me to live with my dad in Guyana. I think that's how you pronounce that place. I was originally supposed to live up until I was 18, but I ended up coming back to New York when I was 24. During my time in Guyana, I had a son with an ex-girlfriend. I moved back to New York when he was 2, and his mom and I decided it's best for him to stay with her in Guyana. Better for him to know his culture and stay grounded. I can respect that, but I mean at the same time, let's continue reading because I'm still kind of confused. But anyways, I have been there many times to see him, and he comes to stay with me here as well. In the end, he was always supposed to come here to live with me. So why is that? Let's continue reading because I'm answering questions before I'm figuring things out. All right, so this is where my fiance comes in. We've been together for 2.5 years, and she met my son. I've always been very vocal about the fact that he's going to come live with me. And this year is the year where he will permanently be moving here. Oh, so it sounds like she might have issues with the son living with them. Okay, now that makes sense. Okay, he's going to come in the summer and then start his first year of middle school. I started to notice her not being on board with the whole idea last year when I was looking for houses. I was thinking about moving somewhere nearby in Jersey due to better school system, but my fiance disagreed. There have been other pretty minimal things here and there since, but she's never outright said he shouldn't come here, but has said things that had heavily implied it. However, each time I asked her to further explain, it would end with the fact that she wants him here. Okay, so it's like, fam, why is she tripping? Well, our wedding is literally 3 Saturdays from now, and yesterday she explicitly said the words that she does not want him to move in with us. I'm like, do you guys have some beef that I don't know about? Because my thing is this. This is my son. This is my blood. This is my flesh and blood. This is my own. All right, I'm not going to be like, oh, son, sorry, you can't live with me because that's something where I'm like, if it comes down between my child and some random woman, I'm like, hey, I understand that we were supposed to get married in 3 weeks, but I'm not going to abandon my son to focus on us. So I'm all like, it's something where I feel like with marriage and fiancés and weddings and husbands and wives, usually that means that it's like, okay, like I'm willing to accept everything that you got going on. You're willing to accept everything that I got going on. But obviously, she ain't really accepting some stuff. Because that's something where I'm like, no, I'm not going to abandon my kids for some random woman. I'm like, no. Then I'm all like, okay, then marriage is up. You can tell all your friends and family, 3 Saturdays from now, don't show up at this location because the wedding is up. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm like, no, that girl is insane. I'm like, I'm not going to abandon my kids because you don't. What beef? My thing is this. What reason do you have? What legitimate reason do you have? Because I guess, like, if the kid is bad and gets into a lot of trouble, then partially I can understand that. But at the same time, if there's nobody in Guyana, I think that's how I'm pronouncing that place, that can take care of him, I don't have nobody, like no family in the area, the state that I live in to take care of him, and I'm his only option, then yeah, it's one of those things where I'm all like, I guess, up until the boy is 18, then I'm all like, or, when he feels comfortable to move out and stuff, but I'm all like, but yeah, if it's one of those things where it's like he gets to an adult and he's still acting like a child and destroying stuff and being crazy and doing wild things, then I'm like, okay, yeah, but I'm like, nah, bro, you gonna have to go live with some friends, you gonna have to live with somebody, but you can't be off up in my house being a grown adult carrying on like a child. That ain't cool, bro. Like, you gonna have to do something about that. So, anyways, yeah, I definitely would talk to him. But I'm like, if he's a good kid, I'm saying you guys are probably, I mean, yeah, y'all gonna have interactions with each other, of course, but I'm saying at the end of the day, it's like, if it ain't like a situation where he ain't ruining your day, then I'm like, fam, you ain't got no place or business to be talking about my child, okay? So, yeah, that's something where I'm like, I would 100% end a relationship over some stuff like that. If it comes down between some random, yeah, like I said, some random woman and my child, I'm like, I'm calling my kid up, and I'm letting him know, I'm like, hey, so that suit that I had you, we gonna take that suit back because the wedding is off. She thought that she could come between us, and I'm like, there ain't no coming between us. You gonna stand next to us, or you ain't gonna stand next to us at all. I know a lot of people will probably look at me and be like, that's very messed up, you shouldn't do some stuff. I'm like, okay, well, imagine if you had, because I know there's probably people out there that don't even like kids in the first place, and they will want to argue about some stuff. Well, find something in this world that you really, really, really love. I mean, if it's a dog, a cat, a fish, freaking your imaginary friend, and you got somebody out there trying to come between you and that imaginary friend. Now, if it comes between you and a figment of your imagination, you're obviously gonna be arguing about. The funny thing is like, there's one of my friends. Actually, shout out to Top Picks podcast, but the one of the hosts of that podcast, Tadia. I know that's something that I would really love to ask her, like, how would that make you feel? Like, give me your genuine, but the thing is this, I've known Tadia, I wouldn't say like I don't know her, but I remember going to school with her like years and years and years ago, alright, and then at some point in time, we became friends again, but I feel like that I know I don't even know her, but I feel like I know a partial parts of her that she would not let nobody come between her and her kid. That's not gonna happen. I'm like, nah, that's something where I'm like, dude, you should never put a parent through no situation like that. No, if anything, you're the insensitive person if you're gonna try to come between a parent and their child. That's some crazy stuff. So anyways, so then she says I want to move in. We start arguing about something else that was pretty minimum, but it escalated to a bigger discussion about our future. That's when she said that she prefers if he remains with his mom. Her main reasonings was that she didn't want to feel a stepmom with no mom. She didn't want to feel a stepmom with no mom present. She'd feel so odd having him around pretty early in our marriage, and she just feels like we should wait until he's older or he not come at all and just come for a vacation. No, I'm like, how about this? How about you go move to Guyana? All right, my kid moves here, and then you only come over for vacations. You see how silly that sounds? And I'm like, that's how that sounds with my child. I'm not going to have it where it's like, oh, sorry, son. I'm like, you can only come around during vacations or when you're older. And then by that time, it's like, oh, yeah, and it's like, she's probably all like, oh, yeah, on his a day before his 18th birthday, before he becomes an adult, and it's like, oh, that's when he can live with us. Oh, but he's an adult, so it's like, oh, now he's gonna want to explore and do all this. I'm like, yeah, lady, I didn't sit there and have my son over in this area for all this time, and now it's time for him to, no, that ain't happening. So anyways, come for vacation. From day one, I have said that my son is going to live with me. Okay, so it's like, why is she surprised? And even giving her a time frame, I always said that I want him here right before he starts middle school. I've said this for 2.5 years. If she felt like this the whole time, then why not say something earlier? Why wait until only weeks before our wedding? I'm generally thinking of calling it off, and I need advice on my options here. No, I would talk with her again and then bring up the example of how, put in quotations, how would you feel if I had you move away so I can live with my son? I almost spelled son like the sun in the sky. I don't know what's going on with me. But anyways, and you only come by during vacations. You see how silly that sounds? Either she accepts you and your kid, or yeah, ... you are gonna have to call this wedding off. Because that's some crazy stuff. I'm like, no, that's something where I'm like, and I definitely would talk to the parent even. I would like, okay, I'm not asking like, oh, can you, because no, the kid on this day, September, no, not even September, during the summer, right before he starts middle school, I'm like, the thing is this, me and the girl, we'll get married. All right, we'll get married, but the son's still gonna live with me. And I'm like, and if you have an issue with that, then I'm like, then fam, it's something where I'm like, okay, you know what? Dang, I wish I would have said that. But it's like, you tell him that. You explain it to him why you don't want him to stay. You explain that to a child. An innocent child that ain't did nothing to you. You explain that to them because you don't want to be That's the one thing, because I know people will probably ask, like, well, what would I do in a situation like that where I meet somebody and she has a kid? And I'm like, fam, I have literally talked with women with kids. That's something where I'm like, I've learned to accept it. I've learned to accept where it's like, okay, I got another Instagram message. But anyways, no, but it's something where I'm all like, I would not have it where it's like, I'm going to come between her and her child. That's something where I'm like, I have mentally prepared myself for that day. If I am talking to a woman and it leads into us dating and then it leads into a relationship, and I'm like, that's the thing where I'm like, during that relationship phase, I feel like people need to understand this about a relationship, okay? Because and just in case people don't understand and don't know, I feel like it needs to be explained. But anyways, when you guys very first meet, you're getting to know each other, right? You're getting to know each other. You're understanding each other, blah, blah, blah. And then at some point in time, y'all start dating. So now you kind of just want to know how that would feel if you guys are spending a lot of time with one another, right? So, eventually, after some time done passed by, blah, 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 relationship done started. Now, it's about acceptance. Now, I feel like that kind of starts like in the dating, phase and things, especially if you know that you guys are going to be getting into a relationship and then you going to become a thing and stuff. So, then at some point in time, did I just get? Oh no, that was from somebody else. I thought they took my comment down. I was about to say, I'm like, bro, what did I say? I'm like, I didn't even say nothing crazy. But anyways, yeah, then the relationship, phase, y'all are accepting each other. Y'all are like, okay, like we're spending time with each other, blah blah blah. Then at some point in time, you've all like, I have gotten to that fully 100% acceptance. What's the next move? Marriage. That's when you go out to freaking, what's that place where they are like, every kiss begins with K? Do they sell wedding rings? That's what I'm going to go check out the day when I decide to get married. I'm going to find the nearest location or the nearest place that they got near me, all right? And then I'm going to go up there, I'm like, okay, I feel like if I'm going to get the ring, I got to get the ring that like represents our whole relationship from literally day one. I gotta get that ring that it means something, right? So anyways, I get that ring, I get down on one knee, I ask her, for her hand. No, it said usually you ask for somebody else's. No, you ask that individual for their hand. I'm asking her to marry me because I'm like, I know it's the blessings. You ask the others, like friends and family, people with blessings. All right, anyways, blah, blah, blah. Then it gets to that point, all right, where I'm sitting down and I'm thinking, this is going to be the rest of my life. That woman, her kid, friends and family, probably that one friend that hates me. But the thing is this. If you truly love somebody, you ain't gonna care about none of that. My thing is this. this is a situation where I started watching the YouTuber Sweet Anita, and I started thinking to myself, would I date someone like Sweet Anita, where it's like she got like Tourette's or something, you know? And that's something where I'm like, if I truly love that girl, I'm like, fam, I might have said this before, but if I hadn't, it'd probably be one of those things where it's like, you know, like she, you know, has Tourette's, and she goes out and she says like something just wild and random and stuff. I'm going to respond to it like it's a normal question until it's something that breaks me, to cause me to start laughing like crazy. But I'm going to be, I'm going to be responding to it like it's actual questions or statements that requires a response, you know? So it's one of those things where I'm all like, fam, that type of stuff, it don't, I've thought of some of the most craziest things. I was like, even the one girl that, you know, I had feelings for and all that stuff. But anyways, I remember I sat down and I thought of that. I think I was just sitting down watching 600 Pound Life, and I was thinking like, dang, what if like something between me and this girl does happen, but like, let's say she gets like a eating disorder for some reason, she gains like 600 pounds, and I'm like, that's something it still wouldn't stop me. If anything, I would want to help her. But I'm all like, that's something where I'm like, nah, that's not gonna stop me. I'm like, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, let me just be like, oh, nope, sorry. I'm like, you done got to a crazy weight, so can't be around you no more and things, can't accept you. No, it's like, that was something where I'm like, I accept, well, up until that whole situation and things, but yeah, it's, I accepted that girl like day one of meeting her. I was like, nah, man, I knew for a fact that I was like, nah, this is the girl. I'm like, I'm telling all my friends, like, this is the one that I am marrying, all right? So if something would have happened, but I think we all know how that whole situation went, but anyways, but yeah, I'm like, that girl's crazy. I'm like, nah, I in that relationship, but oh, this next one, I'm gonna read this next one, but nah, and then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and call it with this episode. My husband called me by the wrong name. Dang. Like, man, I don't even know how I would react to some stuff like that, cause that's dang, bruh. That's something where I'm like, dang, cause you just don't make that mistake. I feel like that's just something where I'm like, I don't know. let's go ahead and read this. So also the beginning part. All right, so no, let's read the original post, because they put like an update. So anyways, she goes on to say, I'll try not to make this too long, so I'll get straight into the point. Last night, I was up very late scrolling, reading on my phone. It was around 2 a.m. and my husband was in bed. I guess he woke up and realized I wasn't there and came out to see me. My husband came up behind me with his fingers, brushing my hair, asking me about what I was doing. I said, reading and scrolling. Asked him if he wanted me to come to bed. He said, no, not unless I wanted to. He called me honey, which he literally never does. It's only sweetheart or something similar. I thought this was kind of weird, but it was 2 a.m. However, when he was walking back towards the bedroom, I called him his name again to tell him something. I guess my voice was a little loud, and he responded annoyed. He said, what, Lainey? My name is Lily. Okay, who's Lainey though? That's what I guess that's what I would overall, like, my question is to this is, who is Lainey? Because I'm like, maybe, because I'm like, my thing is this. I know I've been half asleep. I never called somebody by the wrong name, but I know there's been times where I have been half asleep and I then said some things and did some things that was out the ordinary. Because when you're half asleep, you're halfway in dream mode and you're halfway in awake mode. So yeah, when you're like halfway in dream mode, then yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you still think you dreaming. Stuff hasn't fully been set up yet in, awake mode and things. So anyway, so yeah, she goes on to say, my name is Lily. We both stared at each other for a minute before he immediately tried to backtrack. I meant Lily, it's so late. Stop, don't be crazy. I don't even know anyone named Lainey. That's the whole 9 yards. So if he don't know nobody named Lainey, then it's like, where did Lainey come from? I'm like, bro, what 1829 dream was you having? Because I feel like that's that type of name. That's an 1829 name. That's a name where women were, you know how like they will wear those like dresses where they had like the big hips and all that, like them old fashioned looking. Just look at some old fashioned pictures from like the 1800s or early 1900s and things, and them type of, y'all know the type of dress I'm talking about. That's what I feel like. So it'll be one of those women that have that name. But anyways, immediately when he went to bed, I went through his phone. I know, but you would have to. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, yeah, if you think your significant other is, sleeping around and stuff, and he uncalled you Laney and things, yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, nah, I definitely would be, if she were to accuse me of cheating, down my like, look, if you need to come to my workplace, if you need to follow me the whole day, if you need to go through all my messages, friends, whoever, social media, do what you need to do. But I'm like, I guarantee and I promise you, I'm like, I am not cheating. So yeah, that's something where it's like, dang, bruh. So she was all like, so they were, okay, well, okay, but I don't know. I guess, well, yeah. That's something where I'm like, I don't know how that will. So anyways, reading the next part. So she goes on to say, I didn't find anyone named Laney, but I did find a Delaney, a co-worker of his. The texts were sparse and professional. I searched Laney in the message box and only one came up in a GC for work where someone else said, Laney, can you do this for us? Referring to this Delaney. I went through pics, text calls, search history. I would have done social media, but he doesn't have any. Oh, so okay. So then she ain't even got a trip about that. Everything was fine. What do I do? This Laney can't be coincidence, right? Am I being insane? How do I disapprove this? Please tell me how to proceed. Then she goes on, puts an update. So I've asked my husband about this when he got home. He knew I was going to ask, and he was responsive. I asked why he called me somebody else's name, and his response was, I accidentally called you Laney because you momentarily annoyed me, and she annoyed me a lot at work. It didn't help that it was 2 a.m. and your name starts with the same letter and end with the same sound. I guess that makes sense, but I don't know, man. Okay, let's continue on reading. I asked why he said he didn't know her then, and he said because what's worse, telling a little white liar, telling you at 2 a.m. that I called you a female coworker's name by accident. You gotta tell the truth. I feel like the thing is this old saying. Truth gonna set you free, bruh. I'm saying I might have added a little bit on it, but the truth gonna set you free, bruh. So, anyways, true because I wouldn't let him sleep after. Well, I guess I don't know, but still, I don't know, man. That's something where I'm like, I guess like I don't ever want to be in a situation like that. But it's something where it's like, nah, you're going to have to do some questioning about that and stuff. So basically, she goes on to say, I overreach. Don't worry, everyone who is calling me insane, insecure, calling my insane, insecure psycho, my husband still loves. Wait, people were calling her insane, insecure, and psycho? How is that? Like, you curious? I think anybody would be curious about some stuff. Now, because I know people would probably ask, like, how would that make me feel? Fam, I've been getting called the wrong name my whole life. Yes, my name is Tyler, but bruh, I have been called from my government name all the way down to my content creating name. I have been called Taylor, Terry, Will Smith. Not even gonna lie, I have been called Will Smith, okay? What else have I been, called? My middle name. One of my friends, I'm telling him that's not how my name is pronounced. He is arguing with me up in the middle of the night on Xbox, in the Xbox Live party chat, talking about my middle name is not Jamal, it's Jamal. And I'm like, fam, you're gonna argue with myself that has been telling people this is my name since the whole existence of me and my parents that sat down in the hospital and said, we gonna name this boy Tyler Jamal Moss. You gonna tell me that that's not my government name? I'm trying to think. Has people mispronounced my last name? I feel like not so much my last name, but anyways, content creating name. TMossBoss, T-Boss Moss, Tommy, I think, what was it, Thomas or Tommy Boss? I think it was Tommy Boss. What are some other names? Yeah, I'm fam. I have been called every other name and shout out to the people that can actually call me by my either government name or content creating name. Like one of my friends, shout out to VV1 Kenobi, but she has called me TMossBoss. She cool. I don't mind her calling me TMossBoss. Anybody else though, I'm like, fam, where do you see a TAMOBMOSSBOSS? Where do you see that? I'm like, bro, you people, come on now. I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, come on now. But anyways, But then, so yeah, then she goes on to say, my husband still loves me, and I told him I went through his phone. He doesn't care. He doesn't have a password on it for a reason. Thanks for all that. It's all right. So it seems like everything is cool, but I guess, yeah, if I was in a situation like that where my significant other, she called me the wrong name, if it sounds similar, like if she calls me George, then I'm looking at her like, have you forgot who I am? And that's somewhere I'm like, like if we're, yeah, especially if we're married, she looks at me, she's all like, oh, hey, George. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, I feel like, yeah, and then, what's funny? Is that I feel like, whoever my future wife is, she'll probably, like, at some point in time be listening. She's like, oh, my husband got a podcast. Let me just go and listen to it. She's going to get to this episode, and I feel like she going to play a prank on me. I'm going to probably be sitting down, minding my own business. Probably, it might even be streaming, probably playing a video game. It's going to be funny because it'll probably be while I'm streaming. And she's all like, oh, George, I'm home. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? George? Who is George? If I don't remember this moment of this podcast, then I'm going to question her and be all like, okay, so where's the jungle? Because I know I'm not George. Because I'm like, what you got going on? How do you look at me? Do I even remotely look like a George? That's when my name ain't no, like, my last name ain't no Clooney. I'm trying to think of some other Georges out there. I'm saying, that ain't, no. You just can't make that mistake. So it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, you had to be playing a prank on me of some sorts. You try and get a TikTok, I'm like, hey, you gonna get some likes because I'm gonna be looking at you like you crazy. I'm like, that don't even make no sense. But anyways, then if I were to make that mistake, I made that mistake before. I've called people by the wrong name and stuff. There's been times where I've been friends with people and I don't know their names. So I'm not good with names. I've said that numerous times before. I am not good with names. But I feel like, with marriage and wife and, significant other, somebody that I got nothing but love and trust for. Yeah, that's somewhere I'm like, hopefully whoever my future wife is, she got like a unique name where it's like, okay, you just can't make that mistake and stuff. So, but anyways, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe if you're viewing this on the podcast sharing service. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.